So I knew this was coming. I'm tired. I've spread myself thin. I'm away from home a lot. And I knew it was gonna be hard. This is just kind of like the new low, if you will. What's going on my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people? How y'all doing? Coach Mac back again with another vlog. And if I'm being completely honest, it's a tough day. Let me explain why. So a couple months ago, I picked up another job, totaling it up to like 4 or 5. So I'm very spread thin and I'm very low energy. And when I took on this last job, I knew that days like this were gonna come. I'm not foreign to being busy or working all the time. Like all I do, I get antsy sitting down, so I work. Even prior to picking up the job, I had conversations with Louisa and I was like, hey, I'm gonna do this and it's for a purpose and it's gonna get rough, but I'm accepting now that these days are coming. The days are here. I've been able to maintain some pretty good like spirits and energy decently, but today is just a new low of tired, and a lot of it's just because I only have 24 hours and I've got like 36 hours worth of stuff to do, but it's all for a bigger purpose, so we proceed. And the reason I wanted to make this into a video is I'm over here trying to post on Instagram because being an influencer is part of the job and it's the part that I suck at, but here I am, and the reason I'm doing it is because there's stuff that I need y'all to know. This week there's been quite a few just like great conversations and a lot of learning and growing, and that's again the whole reason why I'm doing all this extra right now, is because I very much believe that you need to lean into hard times because they make you better. And me being stretched thin is exactly that. I'm being stretched, and I need to be stretched because I'm trying to stretch other people because there's bigger things at hand here. But this week, a couple things that have really kind of been rattling through my brain, and the reason I really wanted to pick up the camera is one thing I've done with this new job, because it's a completely different clientele that I normally work with, and I like to ask a lot of questions. Like, I am fueled by perspective, so anytime I have somebody that I'm working with, I'll normally like have like a question of the week, I began to call it. Well, there's been 2. This week was 2 things that you want to relive with your significant other. And if you guys want to answer this question, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. But 2 events you want to relive with your significant other, and then depending on the person, if they had one or not, I either said excluding your marriage or your wedding day, and then also same thing with kids, if you have kids or not, excluding the birth of your kids. Because those are very much things that people are like, oh, best day of my life, getting married and having kids. But I wanted people to think deeper, and that's exactly what it did. It got people to think deeper. And I even like the specificity of the question of like making it 2 things and having them be like that you want to relive, because it kind of makes you play back through your life of how you've gone about it or how many moments you have that you want to experience again. So again, if you want to answer that question for me, sound off in the comments. I would love to hear what your guys' events were. So last week's question, I would ask people, it was kind of like another like couple part question, and it was the best pieces of advice they had been given pertaining to lifestyle, business, and relationships. So that's the question I asked, and I got one client who's not a regular one of mine. He's one of my coworkers' regular clients, but he ended up with me, and I asked him, okay, like what's the best advice that he had given to somebody? And the reason I kind of switched the question up for him is because he was a pastor. So like he within the church, a pastor, and he said, always sit down at the table and have dinner with your wife. And the second he said that, like a light bulb went off and literally exploded in my brain. Because I was like, that's brilliant. It is literally brilliant. It's an avenue to answer and solve a lot of problems. And if you ever talked to me about relationship stuff, or I've ever had these conversations, or I'm gonna start letting you guys know, I believe communication is the most important thing in any relationship. But where I feel like people fall short is getting into the places to have good communication. It's been said that if you ever want to have a hard conversation with somebody, to take them on a drive, because you guys both are looking forward, but you're contained to a vehicle. So it helps to be personable. There's no other ears listening, but at the same time, you guys can be distracted by other things. And then also his answer of every night, sit down and have dinner with your husband or wife. And what that does is, again, it puts you in a position to have a conversation. And again, light bulb went off and just blew up, because in my own little head, I've been trying to solve this problem for people I know all the time. And I'm like, yeah, you just gotta talk more. And they're like, well, I can't get so-and-so right place, right time. Or it's just having the conversation is it seems like you have to be so strategic about it, I thought. But again, this guy I'm working with says, just have dinner. Make it a priority to have dinner every night. And that's very much, it's a great thing, because that's when you can decompress from the day. And that's something that I do most nights with my wife. And we have amazing communication, but we also live together, work together. Like, we're always together. So having good communication having good communication is just necessary for us to work as we do. But I have not been able to stop thinking about that. And that's kind of was just like how I started out my week. And just as the week has gone by, I love this other job. It's a great job. The biggest thing that frustrates me about it is that it's now hours that I can't do this more, or continue to expand my mind to help grow the culture around me. So it's just a bittersweet kind of thing, but it's just a different investment on time. And now getting back to today's current feeling, like, I'm burnt. I am so burnt out. I'm gonna keep pushing, and I'm having to really be internalized, because my recovery time is so short that I'm having to, the second I get a second to breathe, or I'm in between activities, I feel like I immediately just try to jump inside myself to try to start like plugging holes and taping up cracks and doing these kind of things just to get me through the next wave of kind of 8 hours of working. And I mean, it's building the mental fortitude, and it's like, when I do have times I can get away and I can work on my own things, it's all good. It's all very, very good, but it's all exhausting as well. Now, what is the point of me telling you this? And the point of me telling you this is I want to let you guys know that it's not pretty sometimes. Like, as much as we all glorify the hustle and the grind and the posts and all that kind of stuff, I actually had an amazing conversation this morning with a client about just how deceptive social media can really be, and how you'll have people with these huge followings and this great success, and their profile or their video will show one thing, but you don't get the other side of the camera. And I'm really trying to give you guys the other side of the camera. I just picked up a new client, and we're gonna be working on a lot of amazing big things, but even just getting the traction of getting going is a process, because now it's linking up these schedules, and I'm all about it and he's all about it. And the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is the information taking in, but even that takes time, and I'm very short on time right now. So again, these are all amazing things, but they're pulling me in different directions, and the stretching hurts, and mentally it's exhausting, and physically it's exhausting. But when you have a bigger purpose, this is what you have to go through. You have to like celebrate when you can, you have to breathe when you can, but you also have to know that, like, hey, it's gonna be dark for a little bit. I have a feeling about how dark it's gonna get, but you never know until you get there. And I mean, I'm so blessed and thankful that I have people around me that can help, that can bear some of the load, or that can help me be great. And I really encourage you guys as well to really think about the circle of people around you, and know that where you fall short, there's somebody who can help kind of pick you back up. And I'll leave you guys on this note, but another one of the kind of themes that we're going through right now is that you can't drop the ball if you pass it. Now, you have to have a team to pass the ball, and that's a very hard thing to do. But as I'm going through it, I'm going to help you guys out, and I'm going to encourage you to go through it as well, because even the smallest bit of progress you make on this journey to being great, it's worth it. It's worth it. It makes the one good day you have does make the next 10 that suck tolerable. It's not fun. It's not pretty. But you can do it when you have purpose and the right people around you, and you know you're going for a bigger and better cause. And to be honest, like, it was a struggle starting this video, but I feel a lot better now that I've gotten it out for you guys. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to answer my questions of the week, 2 things you want to relive, either with or without your spouse, or excluding or including your kids. And then, of course, the best advice you've been given or that you've given somebody pertaining to relationships, business, whatever the case may be. But yeah, drop it down in the comments below, guys. I love y'all. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in the next one.